Hey everybody, this is Creed and welcome to my video about art goals. Now I've just seen what's probably the 1000th video by an artist that basically says always be learning. And now okay, artists are a different kind of people, but among artists I am different from most of them. I have different opinions. I don't believe all the accepted wisdom that people spread around, and it seems like everybody says it, even lots of friends of mine. I'm going to compare art and plumbing for a minute, and I'm not saying that they're similar in any way, but it's just an example of learning something. If you go to plumbing school and they say, well, you're going to always learn and there's no end to this course, you'll be like, screw that. When I learn something, I like to get to a point where I know it. That's the point of learning it. So I don't know about you, but when I learn something, I like to get to the point where I know it, and I don't have to keep learning it. That's with everything except art. Artists always say, oh, you always have to keep learning and adapting and changing, and I think that's because a lot of artists look at improving their art as something like this, a stairway with no top on it. You're just always going up the art stairway and getting better and better. Well, that's not realistic. I look at art more like a destination, like Pittsburgh. If I want to get to Pittsburgh, I don't want to always be going to Pittsburgh. I'd like to get there. So that's the way I've done my art, and you know, I've been actually putting serious effort into my art since I've been about 16, if not earlier, and I'm 40-ish now, and I actually feel like I'm where I wanted to be. The whole reason for learning to draw was to know how to draw, and I know it. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not saying my art is the greatest in the world. But I don't have a lot left to learn because I got my style to exactly where I want it to be. I have my art looking like I always want it to look. That's my goal. So, ta-da! I'm at Pittsburgh. This endless stairway, it's a pretentious way to sound enlightened, but you're not enlightened because you shouldn't constantly always have to learn something unless it's like, I don't know, something that updates constantly. Sure, you're gonna have to learn that. But art is something you decide what you want to draw, or paint, or dance, or whatever you're doing, and how that is supposed to come out at the end. And if you're not there yet, then you learn and you practice. But eventually you do get to the point where that is what you want, and then, okay, you're done. I don't have anything else to add to it. I'm there. I can draw like I want to draw. But people always say, oh, you have to constantly work on learning more stuff. How much more stuff could there be if your art comes out how you want it to come out? So, like, I'm not on that path of, whoa, it's just this amorphous cloud that you're just trying to generally improve. No, it's a destination. I want to get to art that looks like this, and I'm there. I want to get to the point where most of the time when I draw something, it works out and it looks good, and I'm there. Not every time. I don't think I actually want every single time I draw something to work out. Because that was always my goal, but I think if I got there, I'd be bored with drawing if I just automatically knew there was no chance it would come out as crap. Sometimes art just doesn't work. I just want it to work most of the time, and I want it to look exactly the way I've refined my art over the years to look, and it does. So if you're an artist and you're listening to all this conventional wisdom from all these great artists, that's fantastic, but also realize there's another side to it. This constant learning thing they always say sounds like a pile of crap to me. Just my opinion. You learn how to draw, then you know how to draw. Ta-da! But I think it's good if you have an art goal to improve your art. Have a target, not just upwards. If you shoot things upwards, that's going to come back down and get you in the head. Have a specific target of how you want your art to look. Set a specific goal And guess what? It's not a bad thing or a lazy thing if you get there and you're there and you don't have to. It's like if you want to draw hands and you draw lots of hands and they get better and better, and then you get to a point, there's nothing wrong with saying, now I can draw hands and I don't have to worry about it anymore. Why would I'm not going to take 12 more courses on hands. I can draw those. So I just wanted to post that alternate opinion on improving your art. Set finite goals and reach them. Don't just set pie in the sky, because the sky's a big place. Like, generally improving is not really a goal, and it's not a goal you can measure your success against. So be specific with your goals, and you should be happy that your practice will someday get you to a point where you don't have to do it anymore. You should be happy that your learning will someday get to a point called knowledge, where you don't need to keep learning about that, whatever it was. That's the point of learning. And I'm not saying be rigid to what you know and say, no, I don't want to know anything else if something else comes up. But there has to be a point when you're finished learning and you know things with anything else there is. So I just wanted to post my different kind of opinion on that kind of thing. Have art goals, but have them be specific. And don't feel bad when you get there, because that took a lot of work and effort, and that was worth it. But artists that say, well, you can't stop learning, well, I know it now. So why would I continuously keep learning something I know? That doesn't make sense. They're just trying to sound more wise than what they actually are. And I would think that would be super frustrating to never get to where you're trying to get to. There's nothing wrong with getting there. I want to be able to draw at a certain skill level. Over the course of, over 20 years, I have gotten myself there. I don't feel bad that I am at the destination, and you shouldn't either. So you can go with the endless stairway idea, and that's what most people do. And they say like it's the only way. But just be aware that there's also a more intelligent way, the way we learn everything else. You learn it, you keep learning it, then you know it, and you don't have to learn it anymore. Art's no different. Have a goal in style and skill level, and you can get there. So I think I shot my mouth off long enough. Hopefully I'll have more videos coming soon, and until then, take her easy.